Hey guys, it's me, Angie, and we are talking how to do direct sales better, and specifically for fashion retailers. So today we're talking about how to leave a company well. Now this is kind of a hot button topic right now. So when I started with my company, and I was there for my first company, I was there for 18 months, and nobody left. It just wasn't a thing. A, not many other companies existed, so there was nowhere for us to go if you loved it. And B, it was like we were all, everybody was just, they loved what they did, and we were all very successful. I shouldn't say all, that's a gross generalization, but many people were super successful, and so it felt like there was, what were we going to do? We were doing great, and there was nowhere to go. So as time went on, and people saw the incredible success of LuLaRoe, it was huge, other companies started popping up, and it's good. It's really, really good, because the more companies there are, the better we all are. So suddenly, people were leaving the business that we had never seen before. And I saw a lot of things of how to do it well and how not to. So today we're going to talk about those things. I'm going to share with you the 5 ways you can leave a company well. And this is not strictly for a fashion-based retailer online company, direct sales, but it could be applied to any company on how to leave well. I think these are very generic things and very easy things to do. But I'm going to speak a little bit more specifically to my experience in network marketing and direct sales, which is only fashion retailing. That's what I do. That's what I coach on. It's my jam. So the number one thing you need to do if you're going to switch companies, and people switch for all different reasons, and I would say before you even switch, make sure that that's something. Here's a disclaimer we're gonna talk about. So in other videos, I talked about the difference between being a fashion retailer, direct sales marketing company, network marketing company, and other direct sales brands. And it's its own niche. It really, really is. And if you're, not successful with your company, or you think the grass is always greener, right? Like if I go to this company, I'm going to start selling $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Well, it's probably not true, A. And B, do you even like what you're doing? So think about that. Before you think, a company is not going to fix your situation. There are many great reasons to switch, and be very pragmatic about it. I've talked about those in other videos of how and why I switched from LuLaRoe to my current company, which is Agnes and Dora, why I switched, all of that kind of thing. Why I stayed with direct sales and didn't go off on my own, because there's something to it. There's something to staying with direct sales. But it's not for everybody. So before you switch and do this big change, talked about how it's very expensive to do a network marketing fashion retailing company. Before you do that, stop and think about, do you actually want to do it? Because a company is not going to fix your problems. It's just not. It might fix some things. I'm very happy with my switch. It was one of the best things I've ever done. I love it. And I had great reasons for switching. But if you aren't sure if you should switch, message me, email me, and let's chat and figure out if that's actually what you should do. And that's what I do. I coach people through that kind of thing. So, after that disclaimer. Now, the number one thing you should do if you're switching any company, I don't care what company you're with, who you're switching to, whatever, do not bash your other company. Do not. Do not. And I would tell you, if you are out there and you're thinking, should I switch? Looking for a new sponsor and a new company, follow their online trail. Did they bash their other company when they switched to the new one? Red flag. Beep, beep, beep. Because if they do that with that company, they're going to do it with this company when they leave. And by bashing, I mean the super overtly negative, here's why they're so bad, here's why they're so wrong, here's why I hate them. Not good. It says a lot about the person and a lot about their integrity, and it's not somebody who I personally would choose to follow. So I would suggest that for you, when you're leaving a company and you want to stay in the industry and in the business, people will find that information out about you. So I highly, highly, highly suggest you do not go bashing your company. Be real, be honest, give facts. You don't have to say everything. It's just, I see some of these posts about people leaving, and it's very controversial right now because, like I've said before, people didn't leave my previous company ever. So this is a new phenomena of people leaving, and some people do it really well and with class and grace, and some people do not. And I think there's an in-between. And I'm not speaking to the person that had a really terrible experience. If that's you, I'm so sorry you had a terrible experience. I know that I personally had a very good one. There were things I didn't like, and there's a reason I switched companies, but I didn't have any huge repercussions from being with my previous company. So if that's you, I'm sorry. I'm not speaking to you. But to the average person, do your best not to bash the other company, especially if you're staying in the industry, because word gets around and people follow you and people follow your words, and your word is your everything when you're in this business. It's your network marketing. Your network is who you're selling to. And if you do it well, and we're going to talk about this, and we have talked about this, if you've branded you and not your company, then you can actually switch very, very easily and keep your integrity intact and keep that network that you've built, because they're not following that company, they're following you because you are the marketer. It's your network. So the number one thing I suggest is do not bash the company. Just don't. It's not worth it. Number two is also be honest. I mean, don't inflate things that never happened. I followed somebody on my my Facebook feed that was leaving my company at the same time, but before I was, and it was so negative. And I knew this person pretty well. I knew they had not had a super negative experience. And so it just looked really, really tacky for them to be like, oh, I can't wait to be done with this company. Oh, they were so terrible, because I know that was not that person's experience. It wasn't. You're always going to find people out there that have bad experiences with any company. It's life, man. It's life. It's the same with jobs. You're going to find somebody that hated this previous employer and somebody who loves them. It's what it is. Be honest. Be honest and keep your integrity. I mean, that's just everything, right? That's all we have. All we have is our word and our integrity. So I would say be honest. And that goes to the flip side. Don't sugarcoat. If you had a terrible experience with a company and somebody comes, I think there's appropriate times to share that and less than appropriate times. But you can decide that for yourself. But if somebody comes to you and they ask for your honest experience, be honest. I think there's a way to do it tactfully, but be honest. Don't sugarcoat. Don't make things up. Don't exaggerate. Don't sugarcoat. Just be honest. Be honest about your experience. Number 3, this is a big one. Understand you're going to lose friendships. There's kind of a bubble within network marketing, and when you're with a business and you get to be really close friends, that's part of why people love direct sales and network marketing, is because it builds in a community of women, and it's amazing. And not just your shoppers, but your sisters in your company too. And when you switch companies, you might find that A, you have nothing in common. What we had in common was this business and we don't anymore. Or B, they might just be not happy with you. And you have to be okay with that. You just do. You are going to lose friendships. It is what it is. And just be okay with that. Be secure in your decision. Be secure in your reasons for switching. Trust that if you follow those first 2 rules and you're leaving with integrity, that if somebody doesn't want to be your friend anymore, you lose friendships, it is what it is. And remember too, you cannot control what somebody else says about you. All you can control is how you react to it. So you can't control if somebody is really angry. And maybe they will say things about you online, and maybe they're not true. And by all means, message them and say, please don't say that stuff, it's not true. But also at the end of the day, where are you focusing your energy? Because you cannot control what that person does or what they say. You can't. And it stinks when it's about you. And it stinks when it's not true. And it's so hard. But you can't control it. So put your positive energy out there into your new company and go all for it. Which leads us to number 4, which is be excited. When I switched companies, I was not melancholy. There was definitely a part of me that was sad to leave my previous company, just because I had built a team, I had relationships, I was really thankful to my company. Like I've said, I left really well, I loved people I worked with, all those kinds of things. So there was a part of me that was sad, but I was also so excited to go to my new company, and my customers and my network and people that wanted to sign up with me, they felt that excitement that I had for my new company, and it translated, and it was so much fun. So don't be afraid to share that excitement. Share how excited you are about your new company without bashing the previous one. Why is your new company awesome? The worst thing you can do is say like, well, here's old company's product, here's new company's product, here's how they're different. Eek! When you stay in the same genre, when you switch companies, so like I went from a clothing company to a clothing company, some of that is expected. People are going to say, how does this top compare to this previous company's top? Because that's their reference, right? So what I do is I pivot. Oh my gosh, well, I love that other product, but here's how this is different. Highlight that new product and be super excited about your new company. Finally, when you're in the process of switching and how to leave well, read everything. I'm very big on reading policies and procedures for both companies. Find out exactly what you can and what you can't do, because that can make or break your entire business. With some companies, you can switch right away and go to another company. With some, you can't. So make sure you know what you're doing. With some, you can keep say you have like a Facebook group, and that's where it's like a community, and that's where you've built up. With some companies, you can keep that community, but you have to, remove everything from the previous company, start fresh, but in that same group. With some, you can't. Some you have to start a whole new group, which is fine too, but figure out exactly what you're supposed to do so that you can leave well. I think if you can do these 5 things, and this has been my experience. I did these 5 things, and my process to switch has been seamless. I would actually say it's been really, really positive. My network is excited. My shoppers are excited. My team of people that I told, they were excited for me. They weren't mad at me. They understood. I feel like I'm leaving with my integrity intact, and that was really important for me. And if that's important for you too, I really suggest following these things. And it worked for me. And you know what? It's been great. It's been super great. And I think it's okay to leave a company and say, I wanna switch to a new company because here's what this company has to offer. It's okay. But following some certain protocols and guidelines can help you do it really well and still be really, really successful and still love your old company and love the people and friends you made. So thank you guys so much. I hope that's helpful. I hope those 5 tips, those are 5 things that I did when I switched companies, and it went so well for me. And I really, really think that more people can transition well too if they just try these things. So thanks guys. Have an awesome day.